according to Dr. Brian Duffy, humans have a natural tendency to project our characteristics onto non-human objects. From Greek mythology, Pygmalion to Pinocchio, there are stories and stories that show our anthropomorphic nature. Now, a robot is one of the objects that has been deeply affected by all this anthropomorphism. Technically, any kind of machine that has a certain level of autonomy to sense the state of the world around it, take in that data input, and make decisions based on it can be called a robot. But our popular image of a robot is very much focused on human attributes under the influence of anthropomorphism. Furthermore, the implementation of animal-like characteristics have been emphasized in robotics to show the active and dynamic capabilities of the robot. So the project, Plant-Like Robot, tries to take a completely different approach to robotics. In order to think about robots outside of the human and animal-centric points of view, we look at the plant as a conceptual model. Now, plants have particularly unique characteristics that differ from animals. Since plants cannot move from place to place, they are inevitably involved with interactions with other species for various purposes, such as self-defense or procreation. And a plant's seed dispersal behavior is one of its more impressive capabilities. Since plants are rooted in the ground, they need to use environmental factors such as gravity, wind, water, and other species to propagate their seeds containing the embryos away from the natal site. Now, I was specifically interested in applying the adhesive seed dispersal mechanism to robots. Plants like bidens and Spanish needles have barbs on their seeds, so the seeds can be carried in the fur of animals or on humans' clothes. Under that inspiration, we're working on a research project to develop a plant-like robot that has 3 particular characteristics. First of all, it uses animals and humans as transporters. It has tiny barbs like the Spanish needle, and its body is magnetic, so that through various types of physical contact with objects and people, it can be attached to transporters and move great distances. Now imagine they're attached to a truck crossing the border or being carried by a flight attendant visiting other countries. Then it can travel much longer distances across cities, continents, even oceans. And after it's detached from a transporter, it needs to find other transporters to keep moving. In order to accomplish this, it's able to vibrate its body when it detects it's no longer being carried by a transporter. And based on this vibrating strategy, it could move itself down a slope or garner people's attention. And then the people would respond when they see these robots around them. For example, people who are favorable to the robot could help it by carrying it or attaching it to another vehicle. On the other hand, people who are against it might throw it away or even try to destroy it. The last characteristic of the plant-like robot is its function for mapping microclimates. A plant's seed is very sensitive to water, oxygen, temperature, and light, so it can determine whether current conditions around it are suitable for germination or not. Now, based on this idea, we've tested the prototype of the robot with GPS and various types of sensors. So while the robot's being carried by transporters, it can sense environmental data such as temperature and light in real time and map the climate around it based on the transporter's location. Since the robot can be carried by people not only outside, but also inside buildings and private spaces, we can collect more detailed environmental data on those places as well. Similar to the way NASA's satellites map climate change on a macro scale, we expect the plant-like robot could be an effective tool to map microclimate data of specific areas that people and animals are inhabiting.